Alright, HadesOmega here. So I gotta go change the spring on my my rear spring on my Kawasaki KLX140L. So I thought I'd make a little how-to video here. And I'm changing it out with this. It's a BBR Motorsports spring. So it fits CRF 150R, all them good bikes. So it says it's a heavy duty shock spring, and this is what it looks like. So it doesn't say what the spring rate is or anything, but it's supposedly for, you know, if you're an adult rider riding these little bikes. So here's some of the tools that you're gonna need. Helps if you have an impact gun. I don't have mine with me today, but I have my good old DeWalt drill here. It should be okay. So most of the bolts and screws are like 8mm and 10mm. It's good to have some wrenches and stuff around. Oh yeah, a 12mm wrench helps to have your service manual too. But since you got me, I'll let you know what it says. So there's a 12mm. Comes in handy. So on suspension page 12-15 is where it tells you how to take the rear shock absorber. So it's going to kind of go along. So it says to remove the seat. So to remove the seat, first you got to take your 8mm. I've already kind of taken them off. I kind of loosened them just to make it look to be easier. Yeah, you're going to take this bolt off. And then there's another one on the other side. Probably won't be that easy on your bike. And then these panels come off. There's like a little pin here, so just be careful when you pull it off not to break it. There's another one here. So this came right off. There's the side covers. To remove the seat, you need a 10mm and like a ratchet, a 12mm ratchet or something. So this is kind of weird. This is the only bike I've seen that has it like this. Maybe a lot of dirt bikes are like this, but these are the bolts that hold the seat in. So there's a bolt and a nut on the other side. Most bikes you just screw it in basically. I've already loosened it to make it easier to take. I've already gone this far, so 12mm goes back here, and the 10 is right here. I could probably just do it by hand. Bam, it's out of there. Make sure you put it somewhere safe. Magnetic tray here. Let's do the same for the other side. The other side's a little harder because the muffler is in the way. It's kind of a lock nut, depending on like how clean your bike is, how old it is. It might be hard to get it out. This comes out like that. Maybe just put them together so you don't lose them. Okay, seat should just come right out. You got to pull up on the back, and then pull back. It should come out. Set that aside. Let's put it on top of my DR here. Alright, it says to remove the muffler. Now honestly, I'm looking at the muffler now, and it's not in the way of the shock. So I don't see why you would have to remove the muffler. It's like on the side, totally out of the way of the shock. So I would say skip that step for now. But it does say to remove the rear fender, and one of the bolts is being in the way of the muffler. But I'm assuming you can probably just get a wrench and just take it out. It shouldn't be that hard. So now it says to remove the also I've already on the second bullet it says raise the rear wheel off the ground with a jack. So I've already done that. I got it on my Harbor Freight jack right here. You could probably just use a regular car jack too. It would probably work, but I already have this, so I use it. It actually works pretty good. Just the rear wheel is off the ground. So, and it says we gotta remove the rear fender and the air cleaner housing, but it looks like the air cleaner housing is the one that's in the way of everything, and the battery. So we'll get it out of there. Alright, so to remove the airbox, looks like there's a couple bolts. Looks like there's one right here, and right here that gotta come out. And there should be another one around here somewhere. We'll figure it out. Alright, so this one's kind of hard to get to. I just use a wrench to do it. It just loosens it. Piece of cake. Just like that. Just kind of get it out of there. Alright, so there's just the one by the muffler. It's got to come out. This is actually holding the airbox in. It's kind of hard to get to. Maybe that's why you have to get. Maybe if you could move the muffler out of the way, it would help. Yeah, it's really hard to get it in there. So I would say go ahead and move the muffler. So that's like a 12. That one's just screwed into there. Like, I wouldn't even say remove the muffler, just kind of move it out of the way, you know. Yeah. There's another one right here. Speed it up. Okay. Is this all one piece? Oh no, there's a thing right here. Anyway, so just kind of move it out of the way, so you can kind of twist it. You don't have to actually take it off. And then continue removing the airbox. Should be easier to get to now. Okay, that's the third airbox screw. What else is holding it in? Alright, so you pretty much do have to take the rear fender off, except for these two bolts. And then the fender will come off, but you gotta take this little piece of the fender off because it's attached to the airbox. Let's go ahead and loosen these two screws. It's so easy to work on this bike. Screws are so small. So it's going to get in the way if you try to slide it out. Okay, just drops right out. And then you want to take the air boot out. You by squeezing it, pulling it out. I've already done it. And then there's a hose here you gotta take it out with some pliers. Squeeze those this retainer here, and then just pull it out. Right, so I just use some pliers and I squeeze that and move that back there, and you can pull it out. It might be a little hard to get out. But probably just start taking the airbox out now. Okay, I also found out you have to take the battery out. So just take these two bolts that were here, 8mm. The cover comes off. And you can kind of just pull the battery back, pull the battery out of the way a little bit. And the airbox just comes right out. That'd be better. It may be better just take the battery out. I don't know. I would just kind of just leave it there, make sure it doesn't fall down or anything. And now the airbox kind of wants to come out, but not really. There you go. You kind of take it out of a weird angle. It probably helps if you take this side cover off, or just take this bolt off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you can tell I'm just kind of winging this. So where it kind of hangs up the most is this wire here that goes to this relay. Just kind of want to give it some slack, just like plenty of slack, and then just kind of get it out of the way, and then you can pull the airbox out. This airbox is a pain in the ass to get out. Maybe it helps if you take the gas tank shroud off, but there it is. Looks like I need to clean my filter too. It's pretty dirty looking. Alright. After that, after you get the airbox out, it should be pretty easy to access where the spring is. So you're gonna to get the shock out, you need to take this bolt out. I think it just screws on there. Yeah. So take that bolt out and take this bolt out down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think it's looks like a 14. I hope it's a 14. It's a big bolt. Okay. Probably might need a bigger wrench for this. Alright, now you get loosening the bottom bolt here. Just come right out once you're done loosening it. Kind of gets in the way of the dog bones. And then I've already done the top, sort of. Just get a wrench. Kind of a little wrench with an extension, and just. Got it. All right, to get the shock out better, it's good to get rid of any kind of preload that you have on it. So just get your preload wrench and loosen it. It's kind of hard. There's kind of a lot of stuff in the way. Annoying, right? So yeah, if you get a lot of preload, it's kind of hard to get out, but yeah, I got the bottom bolt out. The swing arm should just kind of come loose. And then I still want to take the top one out. It should be loose now. Yeah, there was a lot of preload on mine, so it was kind of hard to get out, and this thing is hard. So once that is out, you can kind of just pull it out, just like that. Bam. Done.